Okay, all right, get started. I call a meeting to order. Can we stand for the pledge of allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Look for a motion to approve today's agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And I'd also look for a motion to approve today, your minutes for May 13th.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes for May 13th.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I think everybody's had a chance to look at the claims, total claims.
Yeah.
This time is $644,608.23. A little high, but, we had roads department had a lot of rock and dump truck on that one. So there's the guy.
We had some
That's the problem right there.
What was the problem now?
Oh, the claims were high, but we had to make their
Claims
dump truck
high, yeah.
there.
What do you guys want rock on the road?
And rock.
I don't.
It's too big anyway.
Make a motion to approve.
Thank
claims.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Meetings attended, Scott?
I had a rough meeting, not pleasant last week. Wasn't too much that pertained to us, mostly talking about the other stuff with their sewers and stuff, a little bit, went over some budgets, but. Well, then there was an issue at the scale house transfer station with the metal plate was loose. I went out and tapped and got that screwed down. That's that was it.
How many last week, but I got 5 in the next 3 days.
I had a whole bunch of meetings lined up. Board of Health, we had our meeting, I'll let you guys talk to us about that. And, conservation, we had an emergency conservation meeting Monday. And a resignation, and we're working on, she had a chance to go to, Sarah had a chance to go to grad school in Oregon. So she's gonna do that and, we're gonna hire a, Jacob's probably talking about it when we've been here. We're gonna hire a tech and a naturalist combined, try to help that out, so. I had a couple other meetings all scheduled at the same time as the Board of Health, and since I was board chair, I took care of that one and didn't go to the other two, so. And I have 4 more this week. So, yeah, it's a busy. We did have a problem with the generator out at the complex. I got it. I'm getting it handled. The exhaust pipe that comes from the generator to the outside is deteriorating and it's kicking carbon monoxide back into the filter. So I'm working on getting that repaired and the oil changed and all the filters changed. So item number 6, public input. Maybe the public got anything they want to.
Wasn't Sam Wilson case processing? I haven't heard enough about that for a while.
I did get a email the other day that they did send over a proposal.
Wilson sent the county a proposal.
So some of it has to be approved by the prior board because they're the ones that kind of were dealing with that, and I don't know what's out right now.
There hasn't been a date set for the court for the judge to
Not
hear
to
it.
my knowledge, not. So. Anybody else?
Was that advice from Parsons, the prior board? That seems strange to me.
Well, they're the ones in the lawsuit. So if there's any negotiation, they'd have to prove part of that.
So they can improve the outcome of your guys' finances.
They were in charge when that went through.
I think they have to approve any part of it that pertains to the lawsuit against them. But I don't know how that works.
It was against them personally,
Some
the
of
old
it,
board, is
some
that
of
what you're
it,
saying?
some of it.
I never received any of that.
I didn't get anything on it either.
I'll send it over. Anything else?
There's $150,000 loan on the books. Have you guys thought about addressing that?
Not yet. I don't,
Are you gonna just let it ride, or are you gonna address that?
I would assume, yes, we would address it. Anything else? All right, payroll changes. I guess you guys saw those come through,
Yeah.
basically steps of all at once. Item number 8 is, resolution for the Buster subdivision, resolution 202521. I assume that's what we're.
That's the subdivision underneath there, it was. Those are just 5 mile lane, everything's here, so these 2 lots. Now he's got all the paperwork for it, I don't know which papers he received, and they're signing them. The rest of these papers. Bigger deal too, you know, even bigger.
Yeah, I know where it's at.
So it's went through everybody and got an approval on everybody as far as on my end.
Okay.
Just separating off 2 acres from the rest of it.
Well, both of them right now, and also you got the house.
Yeah.
All right.
I would look for a motion to accept resolution 202516. I got back one. 202521, the Buster subdivision.
I'll make that motion.
No, second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
We need to sign this paper over here too.
Yes.
Which one is, we don't understand this at, this one's in a good spot.
Your worker down there, you know.
Right in the middle.
Not covered.
Get her butt chewed.
Right over the top of some of those.
Tammy does it. Yeah.
It is.
Even
when you're just.
she just stamped the one.
I don't know.
She was a season. That's what she wanted to do. I didn't.
This is the only one that's gonna get.
Yeah, we just used.
You only need one, I need one copy.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need a copy or,
The blank copy underneath is fine with me.
no, you don't need to sign though.
No, she sends it to me.
Yeah.
Great thing about computers. Hit the button.
Makes sense.
Maybe that's nothing.
Yeah. What is up on my desk already? Okay, thank you. You guys.
I'm gonna give you a couple of.
5 minutes or so before our public hearing. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I would check mark that, I don't know why. Item number 9, response to our budget that we bids this year. This is making it official of the compensation for the elected officials. I go ahead and read them if you'd like. The auditor approved salary $66,253, which is a 3% increase. County attorney, $90,468 was a 3% increase. Recorder is $66,253, that includes 3%. Sheriff is $115, which is a 15% increase. Supervisors $32,500 with a 3%, and treasurers $66,253 with a 3%. So with that being said, I would look for a motion to approve resolution 202516.
I'll make a motion for resolution 202516.
I'll second it. I'm not, you don't have to do that one.
I know, we've had that discussion many times. Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. It's supposed to be 8:45. Let's go ahead and open a public hearing. I'd like to make a or I'd look for a motion to open a public hearing on the budget amendment.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. This is in regards to resolution 202517. The public hearing adjusts our expenditures and our revenues. I'll read it for you, for the people in the audience. Board of Supervisors does adopt the proposed amendment of the budget on this 20th day of May 2025. Expenditures in the amount of $71,309 for public safety and legal services, $19,313 for county environmental education, $110,059 for administration, for a total of $200,681 in additional expenditures. Revenues in the amount of $21,300 intergovernmental, $31,200 licenses and permits, $50,843 charges for services, $180,000 use of money and property, and $34,613 miscellaneous, for a total of $317,956 in additional revenues. So that means we're in the black. You got a total $117,274.94. That's a good thing. Great.
So you don't have to increase the tax.
No. They're
So no, you're not going to. increase
No, they're going up anyway.
it. Now you're a bank. I'm saving.
So I guess that's part of public input.
That would be fun. My whining, yes, it is.
Hey, Sean, your question, how does that affect county reserves? That increases them, I assume. Good thing.
Great, not great, because we have
Oh,
to
really?
pull money out of the loss to shore it up, so it helps us not have to pull as much of money out of loss.
Okay.
So it's a good thing,
Yeah.
but still not to square zero like I would like.
Okay.
That makes any sort of sense.
Where did additional income come from?
Most of it came from, interest on accounts and stuff with, the treasurer's office for all the bank accounts and CDs and stuff. She had a lot of interest on hers.
Well, there's a lot of money sitting in there for roads and whatnot, so they put that away and What pictures?
Sean, you're welcome for that, okay?
Not personally, let's write that down.
Is the 12,000 for Louisa development in the budget this year?
I do believe so, yes.
Because I heard you had mentioned you were gonna take that out, and apparently you didn't do that.
Any other public comment? Okay, I'd look for a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make the motion to close the public hearing. I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Okay, item number 11 is the accepting of resolution 202517. I look for a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve resolution 202517. I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any signatures or no?
Yeah.
Okay, Adam, it's your turn.
Alright, first event is the, Light and Power Properties application for approval of construction on West County right away before underground on the west side of fixing the bridge, we're talking Woods. This is at the south end of the Davisville Bridge, there's a road underneath, they would like to run power to the cabin in the Hawkeye Woods.
Is it overhead now?
I believe the service areas are very old and they're upgrading the service, so. There has been a guy like in there, cleaning it up and doing some back in.
Okay. If there's any questions on that, you can go ahead and do that if you want. Item number 13. Yeah. I look for a motion to approve. Eastern Iowa Light and Power Cooperatives. Work on the west side of X99 Bridge.
I'll make such a motion.
Yeah.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Carries. John. All right.
Second item I have is, retirement open house for Gary April next Thursday at the office there. I need these two. This first, I guess. Okay. Anyway, Gary vehicles for retiring after 27 years of service, so I'm doing that. We will go back down to an 18 at the time. And over the summer, we'll be looking to get a tent pack, for the fall and winter as needed, so. Plan there. Other than that, we are doing a lot of rock hauling now. We got about, I think 3,000 tons left to haul, before the end of the year, so. We'll be cutting it close, so we'll get there, so. Other than that, been doing some, little bit of pipe work here and there. Guys are out mowing, trying to get pavements done before Memorial Day. We're close, I don't know, we got 100% of it done, so. We're working on that, got fundings to the DOT for the K Road Bridge, so working on some of that. 92 closure of, our DOT closure of 92, again, is gonna be first Monday in June, so that'll be the second, I guess. So look at that, on the south end of the county, DOT is working on the bridge over the K Road. Again, I'll have a small closure this week, but nothing too major on that, so. Other than that, business as usual, so. Any questions for me or?
Did you look at that shoulder? It's up on 17 by Wheelies. Reported it was white out.
I drove by that house and I didn't
Okay.
notice it, but I'll check it out again, so, yeah. Yep, so.
Okay. No, everything else is good, I think.
Okay.
No news is good news.
Adam,
Yes, sir.
my sister Tammy Keller lives out where the Amish are, and she said there's a lot of horse and buggy traffic, and if you would take a look at that or talk to her about maybe putting signs up out there, it's kind of getting time, she thinks, because on weekends, there's a lot of traffic out there, people going down to the levee and
We have ordered a dozen or so signs. I'm not sure if they're made in yet, but yeah, if we.
good. I'll relay that on to her and thank you.
We kind of know that area there is.
It's getting busy.
But there have some been on 61 as well, and I would not recommend that. I'd recommend going east of town here and all that.
Yeah, I've seen that on 61 too.
Yeah, so, anyway, that's what's going on there, so.
You got any ditch work going on, anything?
Probably not till end of June or beginning of July, you know, we're kind of not getting rocked done as fast as we had hoped, but, yeah. Probably July and August will be our ditching periods anyway, so. Anything else? Yes, sir.
Your budget's based on a certain percent of the county's intake, is that correct? You got a percent?
So, there is in Iowa law, there's a thing called the local effort, provision, that a county has to give a formula of the valuation of the urban and rural properties. So that they have to hit a minimum of about 75%. For our county, that's like 1.5 million is what the county has to transfer into secondary roads.
So it's 75% of the rural area road that you.
It is the value of the rural and urban property. So our rural valuation is 600 and some thousand, and our rural valuation is 150. I'm sorry, 600 million. And the valuation of urban is like 150 million. So it's basically
75% of that.
well, it's 0.016% of one and 0.037% something.
There's a huge formula that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you basically rounds out to be about 1.5.
If you don't use that money, which I'm sure you'll find something to use it for, it goes back to the county.
So, so that minimum allows us to get our road use tax fund, which is 3 million or so. From that, and also allows us to use that farm market. When that money isn't spent, we are constitutionally protected to keep the roads money in a balance. And the balance right now is like 3.4 million or something like that. So in years when we're under, it goes into that account. In years where we're over, we can not draw off it. So like in a couple of years, I'm gonna draw off it to pay the main street in Oakville. And it comes out.
Thank you, man.
All right, guys.
Appreciate it.
So
Adam, is that part of the interest money then?
Yeah.
You don't get, by law supposed to keep the interest money since.
No,
it's
that's
off
just
of
the thing that
You have it back for now.
they can
Not
keep,
you
you know,
necessarily.
so.
I've heard stories.
It's what it is.
Barely, it's.
All right, guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. In case you do. They're open.
It's your turn.
Oh, my.
Our favorite time of the week.
Let's see. So we need to go over the annual report, and this is from 23-24, so fiscal year 24. I'm sorry, I'm just wanting to my colleague. So this was the annual report from, would be from when I started in my position, like about halfway through. Just goes through all the services that we do, talks about our CHA chip where we had a survey. We went through that and then collected the data and worked the preventable injuries, infrastructure, and health issues. And so then our top 3 priorities in each of those were mental and emotional health, drug use, elderly wellness, suicide, motor vehicle accidents, elderly farms and farming accidents were the biggest concern, and then affordable and safe housing, access to quality health services, poverty, lack of health insurance. And then we went through the assessment process, or that assessment process is every 5 years. And then we continue to work on health improvement plans through that. Obviously, public health can't work on all of that stuff, but it's just information for the whole community, the whole county to know. These are the things that people in our community want or see as concerns. Little overview on what we do with emergency preparedness, communicable disease surveillance, and then you can see that in the chart. Total 23 reportable diseases. And some of those are not all followed up by our team. Some of them are followed up by the state team. Then it talks about our TB infection program. Goes through what we do with that, with between following up on active cases and late non-infectious cases. Goes through our immunization program. You can see on the back page with our charts, it compares from the previous year, the types of vaccines we were giving. And we do have a decrease in that. Part of that was COVID-19 is kind of vaccine. We're not giving as many into that following year. We did see our seasonal flu vaccine, the amount we gave went down. Some of that may be attributed to pharmacies are giving it now, so that kind of contributes in there. Talks about our school immunization data, religious waivers, and our increasing medical exemptions stayed about the same. We did give out quite a bit of provisional certificates that year. Provisional certificates, we go through, we audit all the school immunizations. Provisionals are basically a letter that goes home to parents, says, hey, you have 60 days to get these caught up for you to be considered fully vaccinated for school. Just a little overview of environmental health, and then goes on to talk about our home health services and visit data. Skilled nursing visits that year, we did 1,076 skilled nursing visits. Homemaker, our home health aid, homemaker visits. Home health aides had 1,043 visits that year, and then homemakers were 1,365 visits that year. Gives an overview of our newborn home visiting program, which we still offer, but we haven't had any referrals for that in several years. And then just gives the end of the year revenue and expenditures for that year. Questions about that? Like I said, this is almost a year behind. Prior to me, the administrator was doing these in April, so I've continued that, but now that I've been here for a full year, I kind of want to do them maybe in the fall so that we're not so far behind when I'm getting these to you, because it seems kind of weird to review it this late, but
Kind of old news.
yeah, so that's kind of my plan. Questions on that? This does get published on our website. Chairs to sign that. So after this, I'll be able to publish it.
Oh, board and supervisor chair. So important.
Next thing I had is just the letter. We do have a board of health member resigning, and her last at the end of June. So just wanted to give you that letter. I think Sean had already kind of brought you guys up to speed on that.
We've got some feelers out for replacement, but if you guys have any recommendations, we'd be happy to let me know and move on to the board. 90's got one name, so.
Okay. Yep. And then also wanted to let you guys know about an event that we're planning, in August. Back to school, kids wellness type event. This is just a save the date. We don't have the full flyer done yet. We have, let's see, Muscatine is gonna come and do dental screenings first, Muscatine Public Health and lead testing for kids. We have a physician coming in willing to do, sports physicals. We're going to provide immunizations that night. Conservation said they might set up something for us. Sheriff's Department said they could do some fun safety stuff to get kids there. Our plan is to do it out at our office, utilizing inside and outside. We're still kind of working through all those details for sure, what that's gonna look like. Having put out some feelers for some other people to come, set up booths like with information and stuff, just to kind of get everybody and going back to school. I know Wapello used to do a back to school event, but I reached out to all the schools and nobody's doing anything currently, so that's the plan. Let's see, at the Board of Health meeting, they did approve the mosquito, so we will be starting mosquito trapping again in June. We have the first half through the end of July, and then based on federal funding, they'll let us know if we can continue through September. So we'll be getting those traps out here soon. Mostly that's a weekly collection. We do have one trap that we collect 3 times a week on. So. The car is being repaired. And we will be hopefully get that back soon.
The minor repairs.
Oh, it's asphalt, was it?
Yeah,
Crankshaft sensor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, the sensors are always good.
Yeah.
I think that's all I have for you.
No, no.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we need to publish for that position, for that number? Do we need to put an article in the paper?
Probably, but we don't have to, she'll still be here for the June meeting, so.
Did we do that with June?
I don't remember. I think we did it was just in the paper maybe once.
Yeah,
I think probably should.
I think we need to.
Maybe. Okay, Jacob, you're next.
Okay, I'll talk on conservation's behalf. I think Sean, you already alluded to it. I received a letter of resignation from our Sarah Martinez. She's our naturalist. She's going to grad school. Good move for her. She was very excited. No animosity towards conservation or any public department. It's just time to move on to a new chapter in her life. So right now we have full-time still after Sarah would leave would be a director and an office administrator, and then a naturalist coordinator and a operations supervisor. That's our only full-time people. We used to have, somebody under each of those 2. But with Sarah leaving, there would be nobody under anywhere. So instead of replacing just the naturalist and having no technician, we're going to create a position in the middle called a naturalist technician. Other counties have done this in the past with pretty good success. It's just going to be a shared position between naturalist and technician, and part of the year they will do in-school stuff, and part of the year they'll be out in the field working. And the good solution, and our staff thinks a good manageable solution for lack of staff.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna put out for that. Hopefully get her or that person hired before July 3rd, which is Sarah's last day. So she's gonna be here for a little while longer to help us finish out the beginning of summer, at least a busy June. In other news, the parks are ready to go for Memorial Day. Water's on. They didn't pass all their tests, so Snively is not drinkable. So if you want to drink that water, bring your own from home or bring water bottles.
Darn.
You have that posted?
Yes. Yep. Fleming Prairie's in its second round of drinking water. We're shot chlorinating and flushing. That's our options. Virginia Grove passed. So if you really want to drink water, go out to Virginia Grove or bring water bottles. But yeah, they're getting ready to go. We did a prescribed fire at Eden Park in preparation for our disc golf out there. Hopefully part installation tomorrow, Wednesday. Super fun. We're hoping to get it done by fiscal year so that we can get it invoiced and on this year's budget. Yeah, it was a good burn too. Pretty late. We had some good brome kill, which is what we're looking for. So, the naturalists are out of the schools. Busy season we took our first breath yesterday. They've been going crazy for the past couple weeks. I'm finishing up budgeting for this year or for, getting our closing budget. Our seasonal starts, our last seasonal for maintenance staff starts on Saturday. He's gonna see Memorial Day weekend. So that way it's a good learning opportunity. And then I already talked about Sarah. So yeah, that's conservation. Any questions there? I'm gonna
Have
talk
you
about,
looked at any of the clearances for the roads, like down Snively's? I watched the guy pull his camper around the horseshoe and literally knock his air conditioner top off because the trees are hanging so low. 2 years ago, I trimmed them all.
yeah, there's a lot of trees. I understand.
But I mean, you gotta
Yeah.
get the roadway path where the people are pulling.
Yeah, last year we did the road down the hill. I'm not sure if you noticed that, but
I did notice up the top was better.
yeah, the whole thing. So, but that's good to know. This
That
year we'll-
severe horseshoe.
on the north side,
On the south side where of course you turn right, then you gotta.
Oh,
go around
down-
the Horseshoe.
down that little guy. Okay, yeah,
That's where the guy ripped it off right
Okay,
there.
yep.
Because.
we'll take a look at it.
Yeah, if you could, I mean, this is gonna be the.
Yeah,
the week.
campers are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We used to have clearance and then people kept hitting it, and then we'd have clearance more and then it's not.
13.6 is kind of the standard
Sure.
everywhere else on the other roadways, so.
Yep.
If that can be.
Sure, yeah, no,
Get that.
that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
We're spending this week getting parts ready, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll add it to the list. Now I'm gonna talk a little bit about the complex. Okay, I have been mowing on the new mower. We picked it up. It's working like a charm. Love that little thing. It's zippy. 52 inch. It feels small enough that you can really get into areas, but it feels big enough that you're gonna be able to mow some patches, some big areas. I don't ever want to lead someone in something I haven't done before, so I'm gonna, for this next couple of weeks while we're still trying to hire and get interviews and stuff, I'm just doing it all, so that way I can better lead whoever is gonna be there. Get some good ideas. We're able to get underneath most of the solar panels. Some are still gonna be close, we're gonna have to do some string trimming, but it's better than the conservations. It's heck of a lot better. So great move on the mower. Somebody did call and say they were interested in the position, asking some questions. So that's always good that we have at least someone interested. Kudos to Tracy. He painted our parking lot lines on Saturday, I think. They look really nice.
That's good, because I was at the public health meeting and I was talking to Randy, I looked at the ground, I thought, we need to restrip that parking lot. Good.
Just did it. I talked to Susan about setting up accounts for fuel and parts and filters and all the sorts of stuff that come with this. And I got most of those set up. So I don't know if they've been through yet, but Napa, Farmers Elevator.
We won't,
Yeah, I didn't think so.
yeah, we won't.
This was last.
It'll be on your end that we
Okay.
won't see that.
Okay. That's all right. In case the complex then needs anything else, we have accounts at the Farmers Elevator, Napa, for oil filters. I don't know what the diesel generator filters come from or.
I got that yesterday, I got all the lists of them.
Okay.
Now, it'd be nice to be able to do it on their filter sales that they have twice a year, I think.
Yep.
Maybe stock up and some money, but.
But in case you need it, the complex should have an account now. Yeah. We need to get a string trimmer and a little backpack sprayer. That's next. On that budget that I had submitted,
Mhm.
I think we budgeted for that person to start relatively soon, but they're not gonna start for quite some time now because of hiring process. So I think there's money in there to flex out of, instead of personnel, it'll just go to equipment. So, I'm gonna go ahead and move.
Electric or gas?
Yes. Yeah, I know, I had to get a couple, like an oil funnel, a gas tank, and there's gonna be a couple more things that you just gotta have. Yeah, I did get a set of blades. And I ordered a couple spare tires, so that way in case something goes down, we have it to fix it. So we're not lagged out 4 days. That's good. Anyway, but yeah, we're just managing that as best I can.
Instead of gas trimmer, have you looked at them Milwaukee's?
I haven't,
I mean, you know how a gas trimmer, you fight sometimes starting and everything?
yeah,
The Milwaukee's are pretty good trimmers.
yeah. What's a battery on a Milwaukee?
Well, you use that bigger battery. But I mean,
$400?
sometimes Al's got some pretty good deals out
Yeah.
there. So, I mean, you might want to price,
Sure, I'll do it. I'll look.
I just bought one.
yeah, I mean,
18 volt.
and the battery, if you get the big batteries, they last pretty good, but I mean, you're gonna need,
Yeah.
a couple batteries or so, but
Sure. Are those like $400 a piece?
I can't, the boy
But the
bought
whole
one.
kit was under 300.
Oh, okay, maybe
But
not.
do you not have to deal with the gas going bad?
Sure,
or-
absolutely. I always lean away from the gas, or the electric, because they have constant, you gotta redo those batteries and,
Yeah, the Milwaukee's are pretty good though.
sure. And I didn't know, just being so expensive, I was leaning against it, but I'll definitely price it out.
I mean,
If
compare.
you trust, do you trust the
Oh, yeah.
Milwaukee's? Okay.
Yeah.
And they got a lot more to trim than
Well,
what I
yeah,
have.
We're talking 2 hours, or at least 1 hour straight of string trimming.
yeah. I mean, if you had a couple batteries, I think you'd probably, I mean, they last pretty decent. You gotta get the bigger, what are they, M18s?
I know, those are,
They're ice.
Pricey, though.
Force now.
and how long do they last? 5 years? Might as well buy a new gas string trimmer at that point.
Yeah, right.
You know,
It was 3, 4, 5 years in gas trimmers.
Yeah, and if that's as long as a lithium ion battery lasts anyways.
Yeah.
So I do balance, I'll do due diligence.
I mean, just look at it, I
Yeah.
guess, and see what you think.
Anything else?
Mm.
No? Good, thank you. You got anything for Jacob? No? We'll move along then. Thank you, Jacob.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
So, general assistance, attended several meetings in the past several weeks. And the phone and foot traffic for our office going 75 foot 10. The mobile food pantry takes place next Wednesday, May 28th. In conjunction with the community outreach event that's happening there at the big center. Would love for y'all to stop in. They have these little flyers put out by Iowa Works, so it shows the job bus that they bring from Des Moines on the flyer. They really wanted those on the picture, but then there's several different departments that will be there and other community business places. And it's a hiring event, so pushing clients there to maybe get a job and something local. So we think it's an awesome event that's going to take place. The food pantry in April, the numbers were 36 households, 88 individuals. And Salvation Army we've been utilizing their funds. We had 3 notice of decisions go out in April. 2 of them were denied for county funding due to failure to sign up for work or actively seek work. That's one of our qualifications in our guidelines. And then budget, we're right on track to finish out at the end of June. Good, so, yeah, that's all I have. I don't know if there's anything y'all have a question about or.
No.
Yeah. Here's some of these. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. If anybody else wants any, just let me know. I can make more.
Okay, Kurt's not in, so we're gonna skip over him. Maybe we'll come back to him later if we get all his in before the end of the meeting. Item number 18. Decommissioning plan number 6, second reading. I look for motion to open the public hearing.
I'll make a motion, we'll public hearing for decommissioning plan number 6.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Public input, any written or oral comments? No. All right, we're on our second reading. I'll go ahead and read it again. just so we're clear. This is a, I don't know, this is a provision that the terms of the decommissioning plan shall be binding upon the owner or operator or any of their successors, assigns or heirs. Any sale or transfer of management shall notify the zoning administrator no later than 10 days from sale of transfer. If failure to notify the zoning administrator, the special use permit can be rescinded and a new special use permit may be required. Any public input?
Make a motion to close public hearing.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then item number 19 is the approval for the second reading of the decommissioning plan number 6. I look for motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, item number 20 is our local county ordinance 13.1. I look for a motion to open a public hearing.
I'll make a motion to open public hearing.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion, we're in a public hearing. This is a county ordinance 13.1, the second reading. This allows the sheriff's department to write county, basically county infractions or fines, and we get to keep a little bit more of the money than send it to the state. Any public input for the second reading? Okay, if not,
Make a motion to close public
thank
hearing.
you.
I'll second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Carries. Item number 21 is the approval for the second reading of ordinance 13.1. I look for that motion.
I'll make a motion to approve second reading of ordinance 13-1.
I'll second
Okay. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
it.
Aye.
Carries. Last thing on my agenda is adjournment. Does anybody have anything I want to add before I call for adjournment? No motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen. Did I miss anything on signatures for you?
I don't think so.
So this stuff is if you want like short-term, long-term disability stuff, we only have certain windows that we can apply, but if you want to, that little window.
They still working on these salaries?
Yeah.
Are they still working on the solar out here?
Yeah, it's not turned on yet. I did sign paperwork to get it processed to go and flip the switch. Probably be next week sometime.
I mean, it's done. Okay.
Oh,
You gonna let us park that or no?
I would assume you can park there.
Walk
Gonna walk off.
I ain't got the only one.
I don't know if they're gonna put new gravel in or something. I can email them and ask them. I don't know.
Yeah.
That should be.
In the truck.
thank you.
I gotta stop getting gas. We don't run out there. Well, now we're gonna have a discussion. Okay.